Hey, what's up, shitheads? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be checking out the Lectric ONE. Now, as many of you may know, I went to a Lectric hosted event in Phoenix, Arizona last month to check out the X-Peak 2.0 and the Expedition 2.0. But they also had one of these on display, and they let a few of us influencers ride it. And I have to say, everyone that got on this bike was really impressed. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, what do you say, guys? Let's get right into it. Now, when you first look at this bike, you might think, oh, this is a folding e-bike or something, you know. You've probably seen something that looks similar to this, but you know what, guys? Actually, you're wrong. First off, it's actually not a folding e-bike, although the handlebars do fold. What really sets this bike apart, this has a Pinion transmission. So this has a geared 6-speed transmission and paired with a Gates carbon belt drive. So what that means is all the gears are selected up here in the front, and there's no derailleur in the back. This means there's no maintenance, there's no messy chain. This is like a zero maintenance. This is gonna be like a perfect commuter option. As a matter of fact, I was watching videos about people who ride their hardtail bikes doing the Great Barrier Divide Trail. Starts all the way up in Canada and they'd ride all the way down to New Mexico. And a lot of those guys would end up switching from a chain to a belt drive because these belt drives last a very, very long time. I think these can last like 10, 15,000 miles before needing to be replaced. So these are absolutely awesome if you're not into doing any maintenance. And hey, I'm not. This Pinion transmission is available on a few other bikes, but almost every other one of them is well above like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 price tag. Very expensive transmission. So for Lectric to have this on a bike coming in at $2,199 is quite impressive. Now, I know you probably heard that price tag and you're like, wow, that's expensive. Well, yes, this is expensive, guys. I really think this is the way the market's going to be going in the future, and we're going to start seeing stuff like this on more bikes going forward. Another thing I really like about this, let's check it out. I'm going to touch the belt. Look at that. I'm not greasy. I'm not dirty. It's dry. If you get dirt on the belt, it'll just naturally come off. You don't need to lubricate the belt. You can tension it every so often when needed. I forget what the mileage interval is at, but this whole system to me is just amazing. I really like this. So like I said, we were in Phoenix. We were all riding various bikes, and everyone who got on this bike had the same impression. This is a 750 watt motor. This is their M24 stealth motor. I'd say it's like 400% quieter than a traditional geared hub motor. So it's quiet and you're thinking, oh, 750 watts. Let me tell you though, for a 750 watt bike, this feels extremely torquey. I believe that for a couple of reasons. One, the Pinion transmission, and two, this bike comes in at 55 pounds. This is a very light bike as far as e-bikes go. The Pinion smart shift system on this bike, this is a C1.6i. This means it's a 6-speed, and there's a couple options for shifting. This has automatic shifting, but I'll show you more about that when we're actually riding. But as you can see, it's all self-contained right here. Nothing in the rear except the motor. So let's go through all the components on this bike. This has a quick release pedals that a lot of electric bikes like to use, and these are ones that if you end up hitting your shin on these, you're gonna have a bad day. It has a 20 by 2.5 inch tires front and rear. And these are definitely a street tread on the tires. You can see here it has metal fenders front and rear, but what's neat about the front fender is you can see the headlight is mounted to the fender itself and the wiring goes underneath. No suspension on this bike. I kind of compare this to like a little BMX bike because it's almost a similar size. It's not very big, but I'm 6'2" and I fit on it fine. This bike has folding handlebars. Honestly, I'm not really sure why they decided to put folding handlebars on this. Yes, it does save you some space, but all in all, I don't really think it's incredibly necessary. I guess if you're going to put it in the back of your car or the trunk or something, it does help you save a little bit of space. It has adjustable handlebar stems. You can completely adjust the angle of the stem and also rotate your handlebars. So you can completely adjust this on the fly how you like to ride, which I think is pretty neat. But you get it where you want, just clamp it back down and you're good to go. It has a color LCD display. It has these nice rubberized grips. Now, I don't see a brand name on these, but these look very similar to ODI grips that I've bought for other bikes. It has hydraulic disc brakes front and rear with 180 millimeter rotors. The bike has a thumb throttle. Here's your controls here. It's a pretty basic control setup. It has your power button, plus and minus will toggle you through your pedal assist settings, and there are 5 levels of pedal assist. Now onto the display here, gives you all the information you're gonna need without giving you like extra stuff to look at. So it has your battery gauge here at the top, speedometer, your pedal assist indicator, your odometer. You can see I have 57 miles. And if you tap the power button, it'll cycle through. Here's your tripometer, range. That's the voltage here. Voltage is nice, so you can know exactly how much power is left in the battery. Current, this is going to show you how much amps you're drawing when you're riding. Time, I think that's how much time you spent riding. And odometer, I'm going to leave it on odometer. Over here, you have your pinion shifter. This upshifts and downshifts, but we'll go over more of that when we start riding. Back to the rear, we have a 48 volt, 14 amp hour, so it doesn't have a huge battery on here. This is about 650 watt hours or so. I would bet riding realistically on this bike, pedal assist 3, 4, and 5, you could probably get 20, 25 miles. You have your cute little rear rack here. I believe this is rated at 30 pounds. Now the seat, I changed the seat immediately. Being that this is a hardtail bike, the seat that came on this bike was just not agreeing with me. So after the first ride, I immediately ordered a new seat. This is a Cloud 9 seat. Adds a little bit of suspension in there and some cushion. You're gonna need it, guys. Trust me on that one. There's your rear tail light here that illuminates when you press the brake pedal and also turns on when you have your headlight on. And to turn the headlight on, you hold the plus button up here and it'll turn on and off your headlight. I'm 6'2", and this is how I have it set for me when I ride, and I feel like it's pretty ergonomic. It's fine, although the wheelbase and everything on this, it does make for a more squirrely ride, so it's not going to be as stable as a bigger bike with bigger tires, but all in all, for a commuting bike, I feel like it's good for what it is. Hey guys, how do I look? So to operate the gearbox, you're going to shift this just like any other bike out there. This is upshift, this is downshift. What sets this apart is there's no cable running from here. This is purely electronic. So when you're pressing this, you'll actually hear the gearbox shift. Okay, to connect to your Pinion Gearbox, you're going to open up your Pinion Smart Shift app on your phone. And from there, you have a couple options you can choose. There is a Start Select option here. And what that does is it will change gears dictated on how fast you're going on the bike. So it's like 10 miles an hour, it'll shift to gear 2 or 3, so on and so forth. Or a Select Start Gear option where you can pick on what gear the bike will start in when you come to a complete stop. I personally always like mine in 1 because there's 6 gears on this and I want to use each and every gear available. So I always have mine set to 1. And the second option is the one I always use is Pre-Select. Pre-Select will shift gears based on the cadence. And it gives you the same option for the Select Start Gear as well as Target Cadence. So if you're a faster pedaler, you can make it want to shift faster. And if you're a slower pedaler, you can make it shift slower. So you can mess around with this and find a preference that you like dictated on how fast you're pedaling. I like this. I have mine set to 55, but you can also make changes on the fly very easily. You can also turn off automatic shifting altogether by just turning both of these selections off. All in all, it's a pretty easy to use app. There's not like overwhelming amounts of options in here where you're going to get lost in the sauce. Pretty straightforward. All right, guys, we're out on the Lectric ONE. And right away, this has a typical speed-based cadence sensor. So if you're in pedal assist 1, you're going to get a pedal assist up until about, it looks like 9 miles an hour. Pedal assist 2. It's going to go up to, feels like about 13, 14. Pedal assist 3, looks like it's going to take us up to ride 18 miles an hour or so. Pedal assist 4, how fast can we go in 4? Pedal assist 4 feels like it's about 22, 23 miles an hour. And of course, pedal assist 5 is going to take us all the way to the promised land. Now, like I said, this has a 14 amp hour battery. So I find myself, you get pretty decent range when you ride around in pedal assist 3 because you can see it's putting out about 500 watts or so, but if you're going to start riding around in pedal assist 4 or 5, you're going to drain through this battery pretty quick because this thing will pull a peak of 1300 watts, and 1300 watts with a 600 watt hour battery is going to go in about a half hour. So yeah, don't expect a ton of range if you're riding around this thing in full power. But yes, this is definitely a rigid ride, especially with the smaller tires, 2.5 inch with no suspension. The seat helps a lot, but to me this kind of feels like riding a BMX bike, similar size and everything. It's just fun. This is a fun little bike. I like this because I like it where this indicates where the industry is going. I hope we start seeing Pinion gearboxes in more and more bikes as time goes forward. But as I said, yeah, this is a 750 watt motor. This bike feels very torquey. This bike feels faster than quite a few 1,000-watt bikes I've ridden. It's nice. I find myself picking up this bike to go for rides more often than I do with other bikes because This is 55 pounds. Let me show you how easy it is to pick this up too. So yeah guys, I live on the second story of a building. This is a 55-pound bike, and check this out. With this little handle in the frame, it's almost like you just pick it right up. This bike is so easy to walk around with. So I really appreciate having a smaller bike, and I find myself grabbing this bike when I'm gonna go to the store or doing quick little trips. It's just so easy to grab this bike and get up and go, whereas it's a bit of drama picking up an 80-pound bike, dragging it up and down the stairs, you know. What are you doing, guys? You should be ordering one by now. Here's what we look like riding around on the Lectric ONE. Say guys, I'm 6'2". I feel this is fairly ergonomic. I don't have the seat up maybe quite as high as I should. But you know what? Who are you to judge me? So currently they have a Black Friday sale going on at Lectric. So if you order this bike, you get some free accessories. I believe you get waterproof pannier bags, a couple other bags. So it's a good time to buy if you're interested in getting one of these. Get yourself a couple accessories along the way. Show you a little bit how the Pinion Gearbox works. So I'm at a dead stop. It's in first gear, pedal a little bit, and you stop. It's upshifted. And now we're in second gear. And it's gonna depend on what cadence you're at. So if you start pedaling too fast, it'll know it's time to upshift, stop, and then there you go. So it takes a little bit of getting used to because you do have to stop pedaling in order for it to upshift, but it's pretty nice. And guys, if you don't like that, you can also manually shift, and you can shift while you're pedaling. But for whatever reason, the automatic shifting doesn't shift while you're pedaling. I don't know if it's a safety mechanism, you know, so you're not pedaling super hard and it automatically shifts on you. But the shifting, it takes you a little bit to get used to, but once you're used to it, it's pretty nice. And it's definitely a clear indication of where things are going in the future. And the nice thing is too, the power for the gearbox is powered from the bike's battery. But from what I understand, you don't have to have the bike turned on. As long as you have the battery in there, it'll give you enough power to shift. Let's test that now. So the bike's turned off. Yep, I can still shift the bike. So if you don't want to have the power on for whatever reason, you can still shift your bike. And from what I hear, once you run the battery all the way down, there still reserves enough power in the battery to make like 300 shifts or something. So they thought ahead with that, so you're not going to get yourself stranded. Woo! Now, Lectric does only make class 3 bikes, meaning it will give you throttle up to 20 miles an hour and max pedal assist is 28 miles an hour because they like to keep their bikes by the letter of the law. But nevertheless, let's do it anyways. Run pedal assist 5 and let's throttle only. Got a nice quick start feature there. 10, 12, 15. I can hear it upshifting as well. We're at 20. I'm going to transition over to pedaling. We're cooking right along. 24. 25, let it do its final upshift. Yeah, so we're at 28 miles an hour. It's not too hard to get this bike to 28. You have to pedal a little bit, but this is a pedaling man's bike. This isn't going to be a bike you're going to want to get if you're going to want to throttle only everywhere. This is another reason I find myself grabbing this bike, as a matter of fact. I like to ride this one to the gym because I end up pedaling, and I like pedaling to the gym because it gets me warmed up, and by the time I get there, I'm ready to work out. In summary, I like pedaling. So with being that this has 20 by 2.5 inch tires, a shorter wheelbase, this bike is extremely maneuverable. As a matter of fact, if you're not used to it, you can probably get yourself in some trouble just with how fast this bike can change directions. As a matter of fact, you're not really going to want to ride this bike with no hands as well, just because, you know, it's more susceptible to changing directions on you. Now, you know, not all of our rides are going to be on fun bike trails. So we got to ride with traffic too. And I honestly feel like this bike would just be an absolutely perfect commuting bike because, as a matter of fact, it's colder out now, so I'm wearing jeans, or as I heard them called, hard pants. So I work from home and I don't wear jeans very often anymore. So I'm wearing jeans now, and if you guys have experience with bikes, you probably realize that jeans and a regular bike with a chain aren't the best combination because you'll end up getting grease stains all over your pants. Well, with this bike, with the belt drive, and it even has a guard over the belt drive, you don't have to worry about that at all. So I do feel like if you're going to be commuting, riding around, taking this bike in and out of office scenarios or in and out of your house, this is a great option for you. This is just going to be like the cream of the crop commuting bike. Zero maintenance. I mean, the only maintenance you're going to be doing on this bike, brake pads, tires, stuff you're going to have to do on any bike. But other than that, this thing's going to be pretty much maintenance free. You're going to get a ton of miles before you have to replace the belt. The only other thing you have to do is charge it. So yeah, I feel like this bike's gonna be an awesome option for those of you who commute. The seat that came on this bike, along with having it be a hardtail, no suspension, was not a good combination for me. This Cloud 9 seat I have has added quite a bit of softness to the seat. It's much, really appreciated. You know, being that I'm an influencer and I have reviewed quite a few different bikes, it's nice to see, like, once you see something that's different, it just really sticks out. A lot of bikes that come out are uninspired. There's no thought behind them. They're just getting the cheapest components they can get and they slap it on a bike and they're trying to sell it. With this bike, you can tell they're trying something different. They partnered up with Pinion. They have the gearbox. They're doing something that no other company is doing in this price point, and I appreciate that a lot. So it's really nice to see that they're taking chances and they're doing some stuff differently than the rest of the companies. I'm really excited to see where this goes in the future. All right guys, time for everybody's favorite, the brake test. Let's get up to 20 miles an hour and see where this thing takes to stop. Yeah, this bike has 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes and has absolutely no turbo stopping whatsoever. I don't know what else to say. The brakes work great. They don't squeal. They stop the bike. What else do you want? You'll also notice when you ride around this bike is it's almost dead silent. I can hear a very, very slight hum from the motor, and then the rest, like just a tiny bit of tire noise. Other than that, this bike is almost completely silent, and then you'll hear the gear shifts when you let off the pedals. But yeah, this is a very quiet bike. Lectric ONE, the ultimate commuter. How does that sound? Hey everyone, we're at our second favorite part of the video, or maybe this is your first, I don't know. We're at the hill test. Sneaking suspicion, the Lectric ONE's gonna have no problem whatsoever, but anyways, we are in pedal assist 5 and we are in gear 1. So let's go ahead and see how easy or hard it is to go up the hill. Yeah, so far it's an absolute cakewalk. The way the gearing is on this, plus the assistance, it's not having any problem. I am pedaling for sure. I don't think it'd do it throttle only, but yeah, this thing's a pretty adequate hill climber. If you've seen this hill in real life, this is not one of those ones you'd want to go on a regular bike unless you're trying to get in shape for something. We're just cruising right along. Pulling about 1,200 watts or so. Oh, what a breeze that was. What a cakewalk that was. Well, there you guys have it. That's the Lectric ONE. Some things I really like about this bike, for starters, the Pinion Gearbox is an absolute game changer. Makes me really excited to see what the future holds as far as bikes with these types of gearboxes. I really love that, combined with the Gates carbon drive. It's just, it's clean, it's zero maintenance, it's awesome. And I really like that this is a lightweight bike. You can just pick it up and go. It's no problem whatsoever. If you're familiar with e-bikes, a lot of these things weigh a ton. Some things I'm not too fond of, unfortunately, it's expensive. This is $21.99, but like I mentioned, it's Black Friday sales. You get yourself some free accessories with it if you order it now. And I do want to say, I wish this bike had a bigger battery. It'd be nice to see like a 20 amp hour and perhaps a full suspension model. But like I just mentioned, guys, we're probably going to see some cool stuff in the future, and this is just the beginning. So who's this bike for? I would absolutely recommend this for like a commuter that doesn't want to have to worry about maintenance, nothing. They just want a bike they can pick up and go and not have to worry about it. This is going to be the option for you. As a matter of fact, this is going to be my #1 choice for anyone who's looking for a commuter e-bike. That being said, I really enjoyed my time on the Lectric ONE. I'm going to personally keep this bike. I ride this to the gym, so yeah, I'm going to get a lot of use out of this bike. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.